So it was this idea where we realized that until unless we do not become our meaningful me, we realize that today's youth is very disconnected with themselves. We are very brilliant, we are very smart with technology, we are over involved in technology, but we seem to lose the connection with ourselves, which somewhere does play a major role. I'm sure you'll agree that a lot of students, even if they're in class 8th or ninth, today seem as if they are grown up adults. And which is true. I mean, that's a good thing that they're very intelligent. But till the intelligence is not compensated with the emotions, things are not going to work very well. With this just brief introduction, I would want Tanushree to take forward.
Hi, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you to our webinar on emotional intelligence. And I thank you all for taking out your precious time on a lovely Sunday morning to support us in our initiative and to reach out to the youth of this country. My name is Tanushree, and I'm on speaking on behalf of Unique Psychological Services with the aim to provide the youth of today with a platform to connect with each other and also be able to feel their questions or issues with the experts in the area of social work, mental health, and psychology. This initiative was thought of by Gagandeep Kaur ma'am, director founder of Unique Psychological Services, and I strongly feel that this idea of reaching out to the youth is of massive importance and much relevance, especially during the current challenging times faced by all of us today because of the pandemic. So before I hand the platform over to Gagandeep ma'am, who will tell us a little bit more about the theme, I would like to give you a short introduction about Gagandeep ma'am today. Gagandeep ma'am is a licensed clinical psychologist. She is director and runs an organization par excellence called Unique Psychological Services. She is a double gold medalist with MPhil in clinical psychology from IBHAS, Delhi University. She has won Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Presidential Gold Medal. She has more than 14 years of experience in the field of child and clinical psychology with diverse areas of expertise. She has worked actively with different MNCs like Apollo Tyres, Ambuja Cement, Viom Networks, HCL, Maruti Suzuki, etc. She has done various projects with WHO and UNICEF and is the author of 17 books. Recently, Gagan ma'am has shared the stage with Miss Sharmishta Mukherjee, the daughter of India's former president, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, addressing several students of Delhi University and has been awarded by Miss Sudha Chandran, who is a well-renowned dancer and film actress, for her excellent work in the area of mental health. Her articles are regularly featured in Hindustan Times, Dainik Jagran, and Brunch magazine. She's been on air as well on various TV programs like Aaj Tak, Sahara India, DD Bharti, AIR FM, etc. Well, this is not all. Gagandeep ma'am has been my mentor since as long as I can think, and she has always guided not just me but so many others in the field of psychology and mental health.
Thank you so much, Tanushree. I think the learning has always been a two-way process, and I strongly believe I could not have learned anything without all of you. I'm sure all of us know that emotional intelligence is that aspect of life which says that you need to become more aware of yourself, your own emotions, and only when you intelligently process the very hidden symbolic meaning your emotions communicate, not only about you but also about others, would you be able to make sense of people and enhance your interpersonal relationships. Now, when I say it's a symbolic meaning, because I think emotions play a very unusual game. And to understand this, I like to present a very brief story. It's about someone I personally know, and I have taken consent from her before I'm sharing this with you. And when I listened to her, it made me think, are emotions really that powerful? The story goes like this. There was a woman who was in love with a man blindly. She left her family, everything for that man. The two had wonderful times together. It was an eternal bliss, and nothing in the world seemed to matter. The emotions connected them together as a team. They worked together as a team. And at all facets, be it social, cognitive, emotional, family, relational, together as a team, they were doing very well in life. But as I believe each one of us has our own journeys where our emotions continue to unfold themselves in myriad ways. And as time progresses, we all are on our own self journeys, where one of the journey is about knowing ourselves, and emotional intelligence is one part of that journey, according to me. It so happened that both of them ended up having different expectations from each other, and there were some differences that magnified. The two began to drift away from each other. There was a lot of negativity, animosity that seemed to breed in the two hearts that once tended to beat for each other. They were filled with love and they had enough to share. I'm sure all of you must have gone with one or such experience in your life where somebody you really loved the most, something happened and there was a bitterness that we carried. Many of us usually carry these emotions in our mind for long and we remain stuck in that. I think something similar like that was happening in this couple too. And they were not able to make sense or they were not able to intelligently use the emotions and understand what their emotions are telling them about themselves and what are they communicating about the other. The two people who used to understand each other non-verbally began to speak two different languages. Maybe one from Mars, another from Venus. I mean, they didn't seem to make sense at all. Neither of them was happy. Yet, none of them wanted malice for any one of them. It was at that point where logic failed. They were trying to look at their problem logically, what is going wrong, what went wrong in their relationship, but nothing seemed to make sense. And at that point, there was something within the heart that said, can I be more intelligent here? Am I not realizing that by sticking on to my past, a past that causes a lot of pain, I'm continuing the pain and I'm bleeding continuously? Can I learn to forgive and forget? Can I learn that my emotions deserve to be respected? Can I stop abusing my own self? Only when I do that will I give a chance to someone else to grow further. And from there came the concept of acceptance. Can I learn to accept myself and the other as they are? Because I believe most of us do try and change people, control them, manipulate them, modify them, because we want them to be the person we want them to be. And if you carefully see, when you don't act always the way others want you to, how can the other act the way you want to? And a lot of times, unconsciously, we end up doing a lot of things in life. I think for me, the first step of emotional intelligence stems from intelligently understanding the language, a very silent murmur or a whisper that your emotions once in a while make or communicate. To listen to that so that it enables you to understand yourself, allow you to be free from your pain, negative baggage, past that you carry, and to move ahead forward. Only when you do that would you be able to make sense of emotions of others also. Because for me, emotional intelligence is not an artificial concept that you and I sit down with a pen and paper and we try to make sense of what the other is feeling. Because I think you cannot connect to the other till you don't connect to your own self. It would be very artificial. And I think for me, personally speaking, emotional intelligence carries that power, that potential that can unleash you, can increase your horizon many folds, and can leave you like an untouched sand. If you look at sand, you keep pouring so many things into it. They just seep down, and the surface remains untouched, pure, very positive, continues to move on in life, much like a river. You keep throwing pebbles, you keep throwing dirt in that river, What does the river do? It doesn't stop and shout back at you. It does not stop moving. It doesn't seem to create more nonsense around that dirt. On the contrary, it lets the dirt seep in and it continues to move forward. I think that's what our emotions is, the power that they carry, where they tell us that every negative emotion is as important as a positive one. The two seem to have different journeys. And only if we allow and see every negative emotion as an opportunity to learn and grow, and we could develop a sense of gratitude. I don't know how. I think that's for all of us to determine in our own way. We can walk like that river, unmoved, untouched, and may be able to make more intelligent use of our own emotions and those of others too, so that we can come at more meaningful planes, and it might help us to even figure out our purpose of life. My own understanding of emotional intelligence may be very different from what others may think, but for me, this seems to be one significant component of emotional intelligence. Although we have our expert, Dr. Alka Saxena, who's going to talk about it. Before Tanushri invites Dr. Alka Saxena, I would like to just say one line about ma'am. I have known Alka ma'am for I think more than 10 years now. There was a time, I think much more than 10 years also. I think many years back when I was just starting my career, I had my first interaction with her. She's one person who somehow remained in my mind. For a couple of years, we didn't seem to interact with each other. I don't know how, but it just didn't happen. Not that we had anything negative with each other, it's just that life took our own ways and ma'am was busy. Ma'am is obviously a very senior person and she has so much things in her hand. I'm so glad and very thankful to you, ma'am, that you could take out time for us. I mean, from your busy schedule. Otherwise, I don't think ma'am even has time to eat food. I have seen her at her school. I've seen her working 24 into 7. And more than that, what I loved about Alka ma'am, and that's why she came to my mind for this topic of emotional intelligence, was that she's one female who by itself is so inspiring. I find her so much in touch, in tuned to her emotions. Somebody who does a lot of justice to her own self and to the others, a very welcoming, very positive lady. I think as a person, I see her as a very evolved individual. And I think for these webinar series, I always wanted to invite people who do not read a book and talk, who talk things from the experiences that they have lived, because I believe that makes more sense. With this, I'd like to thank you, Alka ma'am. Thank you so very much. I'm very moved and I carry a lot of gratitude towards you. And I'm sure your knowledge, your wisdom, the experiences that you have lived, whatever brief interactions that I had with you when I have visited your school once or twice or on few occasions, really touched me. And I can say that you're one person I shall love to carry in my heart forever. Thank you for being with us, ma'am. And Tanushri, I would really request you, can you please welcome ma'am and please take the program forward.
Thank you very much,
My pleasure, ma'am. I would also like to thank all the audience who laid their faith in us and thought of investing this one very important hour of their life. We at Unique Psychological Services, with my team of talented youth, I must acknowledge, because this is the last time I'm speaking, I don't think I'll be coming back, or maybe in the end, otherwise the entire program will be done by youth. So I want to acknowledge my entire team. You'll be amazed to know this entire program has been developed by these young, bright-minded youths, with Tanushri is one of them. There's a long list of people which Tanushri is going to introduce in the end. There's Yogita, there's so many people. They all have been working towards this program. It is a program for youth, by youth, with the idea of empowering you. So thank you so much for laying your faith. Tanushri, thank you so much, beta. Please take the program forward, Raja.
Thank you, Gagan ma'am. Yes, it's time to hear from our guest speaker, Alka ma'am. We are truly honored to have you, Dr. Alka Saxena ma'am, here with us and connect with the youth. And I agree with you, Gagan ma'am. I remember when I first contacted Alka ma'am for the first time regarding this webinar, it did not seem like I was speaking her for the first time. She was so kind to me and so supportive towards the idea. Amidst all her work and occupancies, whenever I spoke to Alka ma'am, she was patient. And in fact, she helped us make a lot of improvements and guided us in making various ideas to make sure that we are able to present a good piece of work in front of everybody. So before I invite Alka ma'am to speak to all of us, I would like to introduce you a little bit about her. Dr. Alka Saxena ma'am is the Deputy Director of Bluebells Group Schools. She's a compassionate practitioner. Yes, Alka ma'am has earned her MBBS degree from the prestigious Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi. She is trained with CBSE as a facilitator for adolescents education program and is working as a resource person with CBSE and Times of India NIE. She is also trained by National Institute of Public Cooperation and Child Development as a facilitator for parenting sessions. Alka ma'am is a life skill education trainer and a parenting coach. She has 25 years of rich experience in working in the health and wellness sector and educational institutions, and she's focused all her energies on a practice for the well-being of children and adolescents. She has developed and headed school health and socio-emotional well-being programs and designed and facilitated workshops with various organizations, students, teachers, parents, and doctors on life skills, parenting, gender sensitivity, substance abuse, bullying, child safety, prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, and many more topics. Alka ma'am has worked as a senior resource person with Expressions India, the National Life Skills, the Values Education and School Wellness Program, and Macmillan Publisher. Last but not the least, she is also working as a faculty with NGOs like AACCI, that is Association for Adolescent and Child Care in India, and Mythica, and these NGOs address issues of adolescents and youth. Thank you so much for being with us, Alka ma'am. We welcome you.
Thank you, Tanushri. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Gagandeep, for that very warm welcome that you've given me. First of all, I'd like to thank Unique Psychological Services for inviting me to this session on emotional intelligence and on their series on More Meaningful Me. It's a wonderful topic, and I think it's much needed by the youth of today. So I will be speaking to you for about next 20 minutes, and after that we will have the question and answer round. In between, I'd also like to interact with you. At such times when I ask you a question, you can please unmute your mics and answer one by one. And rest of the time, I request you to keep your mics on mute. So I'll just start with my presentation. Yeah, so today's topic, as we know, is emotional intelligence, and Gagan has so beautifully introduced emotional intelligence to all of you with a wonderful story, which really touched, my heart when I could relate to so many things and so many feelings that she was talking about in the story. So emotional intelligence ab kuch time se, I think it's okay if I use mixed language. I hope everybody is fine with that. तो अभी कुछ सालों से एक ये वर्ड या टर्म जो है इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस वो यूज होने लगा है. एंड लेट मी जस्ट टेल यू अ बिट अबाउट द history or how it came into being. So two gentlemen, so I'm just going to very briefly talk about this. The two gentlemen, Peter Salovey and John Mayer, who were both American researchers, they used this term first time in their research paper in the year 1990. So the concept is pretty new. And later on, this concept was popularized by another researcher called Daniel Goleman, who has written also a bestseller book. And in the year 1995, this concept was popularized by him in his bestseller on emotional intelligence. So what does Goleman say? Goleman says that emotional intelligence is all about how you handle yourself and get along with people and work in teams. Or To elaborate a bit, he says there are 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. They are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Or if I say in simple words, EI is your ability to be smart about your feelings and emotions. And of course, people who are smart about their emotions and feelings are also better able to sense the feelings of others and hence get along better with people. Right? So that's just a bit about emotional intelligence. And Gagan has already spoken so much about it. So let me not dwell more on it. Only one thing I'd like to talk about is that why EI is important for schools and colleges. So you see schools and colleges, and because today's session is more for youth and adolescents, I'd like to talk about this, that schools and colleges are all are social settings. बहुत सारे लोग हमें मिलते हैं varied backgrounds के, and we go through a lot of emotions every day. And it is important to learn for us how to get along with others, how to work in teams, and the ways of the society we have to learn as adolescents and youth, and even as adults we have to learn the ways of the society, and we have to learn to handle our emotions. Also, it is said that for holistic development, children need to be emotionally stable. And research also says that people with high emotional intelligence, it facilitates academic learning also. So that's why EI becomes so important for us. And if we see the 21st century learning school, what we can see is that in the roots of the tree are all the socio-emotional aspects of learning, all that we saw in the 5 pillars: empathy, self-motivation, self-regulation, self-awareness. Self-awareness is a very big skill that we need to learn. We need to know about ourselves, what we are, how we react to things. So all these things are the roots of that tree. And if we have strong roots, then of course the tree will be bigger, and we will have fruits like responsible citizens, effective learners, and they will be effective, and we will have holistic development. So this is basically how the 21st century learning school should look like. So coming to my basic topic, and that is what I'm going to talk about more, is understanding emotions and decoding anger. So coming to emotions, let's try to understand. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are around 92 definitions for emotions. So obviously जब किसी चीज पे consensus नहीं होता है तो बहुत सारी definitions हो जाती हैं. So I thought let me just pick up something from the dictionary and say that. So what does the dictionary say? कि emotions are a psychological state that arises spontaneously rather than through conscious effort and is sometimes accompanied by physiological changes. Right? So I'd like you to focus on 3 words here. One is psychological, second that they are spontaneous, and third that they bring about some physiological changes. Right? And I will keep coming back to this definition as I move along in my presentation. Right? So what is important to understand is कि emotions spontaneous होती हैं, अपने आप आ जाती हैं. Right? अच्छा, अभी अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं that if I say to you that today your mom is making something very good for you for lunch, how will you feel? You can unmute yourself and answer. How will you feel if I say that after you finish this session, your mom has made something very nice for you and you're going to get something really yummy to eat? Excited? Okay.
Excited.
Okay, wonderful. What else?
Happy.
Happy? Okay.
Oh, ma'am, very happy.
Very happy? Okay, wonderful. Okay. Okay, if I say to you that you had to go to a party and at the last minute your parents cancelled that, then how will you feel?
Very sad.
Very sad. Okay. Sad. Frustration.
Rejected.
Okay.
Disappointed.
Disappointed, frustrated, sad. Yeah, right. Surprised also.
Dejected.
So upset. Yeah, dejected, annoyed. Okay. If I say to you that your friend does better than you in your exam, whereas you had studied much more than your friend, then how will you feel?
Jealous.
Jealous,
Disappointed.
envy, disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Confused?
I'll
Okay.
be happy for him.
Okay, you'll be happy for him. Okay, somebody says shocked, somebody says unhappy. Yeah, so we can feel a lot of things. If I say that you get up to answer something in class and suddenly you say something wrong and everybody starts laughing at you, how are you going to feel then?
Embarrassed, ma'am.
Embarrassed.
Okay, ashamed, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, anxious. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, we can feel a lot of things. So it's safe to say then that we are feeling or experiencing feelings and emotions all the time, and some of the emotions that you talked about and some didn't come in the conversation, however, but that some of the emotions that we can name are happiness, sadness, anger, jealous, envy, loneliness, embarrassment, fear, pride. So these are some of the emotions that we feel all the time, and it's safe to say that at any given point of time we are experiencing and feel our feelings and emotions. At any given time, ऐसा कोई टाइम नहीं होता जब हम कुछ फील नहीं कर रहे होते, राइट? तो इसलिए बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि हम अपनी इमोशंस को समझें, राइट? और लाइक गगन ऑल्सो सेड, हम अपनी इमोशंस को समझें और ये समझें कि वो हमसे क्या कहना चाह रही हैं, राइट? सो अब कोई ऐसी इमोशन है जो आपको लगता है कि हमें नहीं फील करनी चाहिए, या वी शुड अवॉइड फीलिंग, या लोग बोलते हो कि ये फील करना ठीक नहीं होता, अच्छी बात नहीं है ये फील करना? एंगर, ओके. एग्रेशन, एंगर, ओके. और
Hatred, ma'am.
hatred, okay. Jealous, negative thought. So yeah, so some of the responses that have come in the chat box are, yeah, some things that we should not feel, you said, were anger, jealousy, envy, apathy. These are some of the feelings. तो ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं? अभी तो मैंने बोला कि फीलिंग्स स्पॉन्टेनियस होती हैं, आ जाती हैं, तो फिर ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं? Why do you think or feel so? Why do we think कि कुछ फीलिंग्स नहीं फील करनी चाहिए? Would somebody like to answer that? Society doesn't accept. Everyone says so is bad, okay? Or
Excuse me, ma'am. Sometimes, ma'am, we come in awkward position also. Like when we show our emotions to others, they may be going to take us in a different way.
okay, so sometime it can have a bad consequence for you if you show that. Okay. Then somebody said has written in the chat box there are negative ilhamas. Yes, somebody wants to say something. These are constructive rather destructive.
It's the game of.
Yeah.
It's the game of our mind. Whatever we think, we act accordingly.
Okay, so you feel that it's a game of the mind.
Yes, ma'am. If we think positive, we are going to act positively.
Okay, but अभी हमने कहा कि इमोशंस नेचुरल हैं, हमने ये बोला आ जाती हैं, ठीक है? So basically, see, all emotions are normal, natural, and neutral. And in the definition also, I said that they are spontaneous, right? But then what you are talking is also correct. You know, they have consequences. कई बार वो we end up behaving in ways which can harm others, and sometimes we can end up doing things which can hurt others. Sometimes it can harm our own reputation, our relationships. तो हम वो भी नहीं चाहते हैं. तो फिर क्या करना चाहिए? तो एक चीज, one thing that we need to understand is that one part is the emotion that you're feeling, and the second is what you are doing with that emotion, or how you're acting on that, or how you're behaving. So if I say, take the example of anger, what do we do when we feel angry? We sometimes shout at others. We may sometimes hit somebody. We may do some kind of harm to another person. So these are the things that we are doing, or they're coming in our behavior. So there is a difference. There is the emotion of anger, and then there is behavior. So these are two separate things. So aggression is a behavior, hitting out is a behavior, shouting is a behavior, whereas anger is the emotion, right? So तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए फिर? हमारे पास दोनों चीजें मैं बोल रही हूँ सही है हो भी जाती हैं, मतलब आ भी जाती हैं, स्पॉन्टेनियस है एक तरफ मैं बोल रही हूँ, नेचुरल है, न्यूट्रल है, और इट्स ओके टू फील ऑल फीलिंग्स भी बोल रही हूँ, लेकिन साथ ही ये बोल रही हूँ कि भाई इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस अच्छे नहीं है, अगर हम इस तरह से बिहेव करना चाहिए तो क्या करें. Somebody said observe, introspect and reflect. और क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं हम इमोशंस का. कंट्रोल, वी मस्ट हैव कंट्रोल ओवर आवर फीलिंग्स. अच्छा,
We can share it with someone. We can share it with someone whom we.
Okay, you're saying share. Okay, somebody is saying manage, somebody is saying control. So let me just explain the difference between the two. If I say to you that अब आज पूरा दिन आपने एलिफेंट के बारे में नहीं सोचना, ठीक है. Now this elephant has a big grey body, छोटा सा tail है उसका, has a big trunk, big flapping ears, is moving about in the jungle, but you are not going to think about. Control your thoughts. Control. क्या हुआ, किसी को एलिफेंट तो नहीं दिख रहा? दिख रहा है. पहले दिख रहा था?
नहीं.
Okay, so मेरे बोलने से पहले नहीं दिख रहा था, but when I said control, so you can only see the elephant. ठीक है. So the more we try to avoid or try to control, the more it will come. So what do? We manage, we understand, or we decode. So that is the difference between control and manage. Okay. So today let's stay with anger and let's try to decode anger. तो सबसे पहले ये समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि when do we feel angry. Now let me give you a hypothetical situation. Now in this situation, Pingu is trying to complete a homework assignment. However, he's struggling to understand some concepts and is unable to complete related questions. He has to complete 2 more assignments and he has to submit them in the next 2 days. Suddenly his mother comes into the room and says, "Beta, jaake ek bread la de market se." Pingu angrily, Pingu just gets up, throws the assignment on the floor and starts shouting at his mother. आपको जब देखो मुझे मार्केट भेजना होता है, आपको जब देखो मार्केट से कुछ ना कुछ चाहिए होता है, असाइनमेंट करो या मार्केट जाऊं, फिर मेरे मार्क्स नहीं आएंगे, आपको कंप्लेंट आएगी, फिर आप मुझे XYZ स्टूडेंट से कंपेयर करोगे और बोलोगे तो पढ़ता नहीं है. तो क्या हो रहा था यहाँ पर? Let's try to analyze this situation a bit. What do you think Pingu was feeling? जब उसको 3 assignments he had to do, he was trying to complete 1. There were some concepts he was not able to understand, and
helpless,
frustrated, angry, yes, confusion, okay, irritated, under pressure, yes, helpless, yes, something's written, yeah, okay. So, and he was agitated. Express कैसे हुआ? How did it get expressed? What did he shouting on your mother? He shouted at his mother.
Shout.
So he reacted. Yeah, shouting and burst out. Yes, he acted out. So it was getting expressed as anger. So what did we see? The feelings were frustration, stress, helplessness, but it was getting expressed as anger. So many a times this happens with us. A lot of times we are feeling something else, but it is getting expressed as anger, right? So what is it that Pingu could have done differently? Let's try to understand that. Now, some of the things that Pingu could have done at this time was that he could have taken a few deep breaths. Sometimes when we are very overwhelmed with our emotions and we are all confused and we are all, filled with our emotions and feeling a lot of stress and all, it helps to take a few deep breaths, and you can even break the cycle by drinking a glass of water. So that's the first thing that Pingu could have done. And he could have tried to see what he was feeling. And Pingu could have taken a break if it was possible. But हर सिचुएशन में हम ब्रेक नहीं ले सकते. इस सिचुएशन में ले सकते हैं, कभी कभी हमें डांट पड़ रही होती है, हम we are standing in front of a senior and the senior is scolding us, and that time we can't say sorry, I want to take a break and take a walk. That time we can do something like count up to 10 in our mind, right? But at other times, like in this situation, Pingu could have taken a break and be aware of his feelings. And remember that there is always something that you can do about your feelings. You have the resources to calm yourself. I'm sure each one of us here has at some time or the other lost our temper, have not been able to reach a place in time, or have felt afraid to perform in front of a group, or have felt afraid of public speaking. What do we do at such times? We tend to blame someone or something. Sometimes we blame it on our genes. भाई मेरे तो माँ बाप ही short tempered हैं, मेरे तो grandparents short tempered है, so that's why I'm like that. Sometimes we blame it on our upbringing. अरे भाई हमारे जमाने में कहाँ होती थी इतनी एक्सपोजर वगैरह, और हमें कहाँ से पब्लिक स्पीकिंग आएंगी, तो ऑब्वियसली हमारी तो जान निकलेगी ना पब्लिक स्पीकिंग में, हम कहाँ से कर पाएंगे पब्लिक स्पीकिंग. At other times, we blame it on our family, our spouse, our children, or something in the environment. But if family doesn't cooperate, how can I reach anywhere in time? So whenever there is a stimulus, we tend to respond to it in a certain way, and many a times we tend to blame it on something in our environment. So whenever there's a stimulus, we respond to it in a certain way, and we are conditioned to do so. And in doing so, we set the parameters and limits of our life, and we feel that we cannot go beyond them. So let me tell you here the story of Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was a Jew psychiatrist. He was taken as a prisoner and put in the concentration camps of Germany by the Nazis. Now there he experienced things which were so repugnant to his sense of decency that he even shuddered to think about it. His entire family died in those concentration camps except his sister. One day, sitting alone in a small room, he began to become aware of something. He began to become aware of freedom that his captors, the Nazi captors, could not take away from him. They could influence the environment, they could do whatever they wanted to do to his body, but they could not take away from him the freedom to decide how this was going to affect him and his mind. So between stimulus, that is the environment, and the response that Viktor Frankl could give was his choice of freedom, or his power to choose. From that day, he would project himself into different circumstances. Sometimes he would imagine that he is in some lush green fields. Sometimes he would think of all the good times that he had with his family before the war started. Sometimes he would plan things that he would do after the war ends. And this gave him the strength to bear all the torture that was happening to him. Soon he became an inspiration for others and helped others also find dignity and meaning in their life. So in the midst of the most degrading circumstances, Frankl discovered a basic thing about human nature, that between stimulus and response is man's freedom to choose. Ladies and gentlemen, human beings have been endowed with self-awareness, a conscience, an independent will and imagination. And by using these endowments, we can write programs for ourselves. We can write new programs for ourselves, which are totally different from our instincts and training. It is in our hand whether we choose to be reactive in a particular situation, that is, let the physical environment decide how we are going to behave, or we are proactive and behave as per our values. That means the responsibility of our behavior or the responsibility of our lives lies with us. And it is our responsibility whether we want to change a habit of coming late, we want to change the habit of public speaking without fear, or we want to change the habit of losing our temper. The responsibility lies within us, because if you break the word responsibility, it has two parts: response and ability. That is the ability to respond. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the resources with us to handle these things, and we have the ability to respond. So that is why I say that we can always do something about our feelings. Now let's see what we can do with our feelings. Now here are some things that I already told you, what Pingu could have done, taken a break from his feelings. There are some other things you can do, like you can write down your feelings to understand them. Secondly, know your strengths. Somebody from the audience also said, you can talk to your friends and family. Try to understand who are the people who support you. Here it's important for us to build such relationships around us that are supportive for us, that are going to help us, and who are not going to judge us. When we talk to them, they will understand what we are saying. They'll be able to empathize with us. So always try to keep such a group around you who will understand you and accept you. talk to these people. Many a times just talking itself is therapeutic, and you will find the solutions coming out. The other thing is that communicate assertively. That when I say communicate assertively, it means that like when Pingu's mother came, that was the trigger for him. So had he been aware of his emotions and had he put across his point assertively to his mother, he could have said something like this: Mom, right now I'm trying to do this assignment and I'm really struggling with these concepts. मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं समझ में आ रहे, मुझे बहुत helpless feel हो रहा है, frustrated feel हो रहा है. Can I please go a little later? I'm really feeling pressured to do this work. And he could also have said, can you send somebody else, or can I get it later in the day if it's not that urgent? So he could have put across his point assertively. So it's very important for us to learn how to communicate our point assertively. Another thing that I'm saying is that he could have used I statements instead of you statements. What did Pingu say? He said, आपको हमेशा मार्केट से कुछ मंगाना होता है, आपको हमेशा ये चाहिए होता है कि मैं वो करूं, आप नहीं चाहते कि मैं असाइनमेंट करूं. So what are the things that we do when we are blaming somebody? We use you statements. But instead, what I'm saying, use I statement. I feel disturbed when I'm doing something and somebody comes and asks me to do some work. I feel disturbed. So here, I'm not blaming the other person. I'm just explaining how I feel. So these are some of the things. Of course, there are many other things that one can talk about, and and in many different situations. So since we have limited time today, I'll only be able to cover this much, and I'll just recap what I have covered in today's session that I had with you. I talked a bit about emotional intelligence. I talked about all emotions are normal, natural, and neutral. I also talked about anger being a blanket emotion, that there are feelings behind anger, which we need to understand. And sometimes we act out angrily. And I talked about some anger management tips. There is a food for thought for all of you. Anyone can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy. And this is what Aristotle said. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Alka ma'am, for connecting with the youth with the anger management tips and the food for thought. And we absolutely loved Viktor Frankl's story on realization and self-awareness. Thank you so much, ma'am.